Thanks for joining. Welcome to episode 4 of our Camino journey. We hit a big milestone getting to the halfway point on the Camino Francés. We got spooked out in an eerie hotel that reminded us of the movie The Shining. We also experienced the wondrous work of the great architect Antonio Gaudi. So, let's go! About 9 a.m. We are on day 19 of the Camino. We are just leaving Carrión de los Condes. We had a great evening. Spent the day yesterday with a lovely woman named Sivan, and Amanda and her were together much of the day on the journey. It was a fairly quiet day yesterday, and the place we stayed last night was very quiet, so I am feeling a bit off this morning, so not sure what's going to happen today. We've got a 17 kilometers to do here with no services, no water, food, etc. We are underway. Filling up at the font here for the 17K journey. We are on the old Roman road here, still intact after 2,000 years, except there's a little bit of a gravel covering now. The interesting thing is, around the surrounding area, it's wetlands, and it's estimated that 100,000 tons of rock had to be hauled in here in order to create this long stretch of Roman road that we're on today. I just find that kind of history fascinating, so now we're trampling over where the Romans used to be. Very cool. Miss Amanda on the road. On the Camino. Nice purple flowers along here. Real nice. Chilly out, but it's all right. It's about 55 today. It's kind of raining a little bit, but we're doing well. Get a second burst of energy after that food truck. It was so welcome back behind us. It was like, oh my gosh. Coffee, hot sandwiches. Yeah, it was very welcome. So we are 4 kilometers from getting to town. Looking forward to getting to the albergue for the night. We've had a couple nights of private rooms. Last night we had our new friend Sivan stay in our room because we ended up having 4 twin beds, unbeknownst when I booked it. So we had an extra bed. So she was able to take advantage of that, which is good. And so it's like the sun might come out here a little bit. That'll be nice. Supposed to start warming up later in the week, and I think that would be just dandy. Kitty cat, good morning, buenos dias. It's time for the crunchy oats. Get the morning going. We are on our way. We just left Calzadilla. And today we're going 14 miles. We are headed for Sahagún, which is supposed to be a cool town. It is another chilly morning, 42 degrees getting started off. Both kind of had an okay sleep, but it was the largest number of beds we've had so far. Imagine the scene here. There are 40 people in the room, all in the beds, and some have been asleep since 8 It is now 9:45, and there are what sound like 4 or 5 drunken sailors coming up the stairs, talking about some bar fight and blah, 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 very loud voices, and everybody's like, shh. And that's what it's like sometimes in the dorm. It's just, some people are asleep at 7:30 at night. Others are stumbling in from the bar near 10 o'clock, all boisterous, and then you hear the woman with the 1.5-year-old and the toddler just kind of fell off the bed and is crying, and it's a wild cacophony of activity in some of these albergues, but it's just part of the Pilgrim experience. So that's really been a fascinating part of the journey for sure. There's a fox. Super cool. I've not seen a fox in the wild before. He's very mellow. He's not too worried about us. Outstanding mural. These murals are just so awesome in so many of these towns. It's just superb. Buenos dias. Good day. It is 1 o'clock and we are just leaving Sahagun. We had a good walk yesterday. There were some pretty dark clouds, so we thought it was going to be round 2 of the rain, and it was not. Thankfully, we got in, and the hotel we stayed at seemed like some kind of hotel out of The Shining. It was like nobody there, and there was a very nice woman at the counter, and the rooms were very nice. There was nobody in the hallways. The place was pretty much abandoned, and the pool was long since defunct in the back. It was just kind of a eerie, sort of bizarre place.
Didn't really... No hot water.
Yeah, no hot water, and the Wi-Fi didn't work, which was not that big a deal. But yeah, so
big bed, very comfortable sleep.
Yeah, it was quiet and comfortable. And we found a great place to have dinner, some spaghetti and pizza.
And beer.
Yeah, and a little brewski, so that was good. One of the significances of Sahagun is it is the halfway point for the Camino. Woo woo! So we have now gone 385 about kilometers, which is about 245 miles. On the Camino. So they had a really cool marker site just outside town for the halfway geographic point. And of course everybody, including us, had to get photos of. And so we made it halfway and we're feeling good. Blisters are starting to kind of get to the point where they're under control.
Yeah.
And we're taking a shorter day today. We're going from Sahagun to Bercianos along this quiet kind of country road. We're on the path of the Camino here next to the road, and so we've got about 10.5k or about 6 miles thereabouts, somewhere in there. So one of the things that every pilgrim carries is called the credential. It's a passport that you get stamped along the way that's used as proof that you've completed the Camino upon reaching Santiago. We got a stamp at the halfway point at the ruins of a 12th century monastery and celebrated with some of our friends. I gotta be careful through here. This is like, this thistle stuff is nasty. I got a little poked by one of them the other day, and there's still a little piece that it's in my hand, I think, so watch yourself here. We got a fairly early start this morning. We had a wonderful stay at Albergue Bercianos 1900 last night. It was just really built from the ground up for pilgrims and had everything we needed. The food was amazing and the people there were super friendly and fun, and it was just great. Very quiet. It did rain again. It seems to have rained the last probably 5 nights around 6 o'clock. Just a heavy downpour for 20-30 minutes. Then it's intermittent. So every night it seems to be raining. But we had a great walk yesterday, and today we are onward to Reliagos. So it's about a total of 20K or 14 miles, and feeling good. Been seeing a lot of cyclists on the Camino the last couple of days, especially today. A lot of people out. I did see a very much older gentleman back on the road. Gosh, must have been in his early 80s or something, and had a wooden walking stick and was just going very, very slow. But he's doing it and enjoying things that it look like. I said hello in Spanish, and he was fine. So anyway, we are off and about. The first couple days in the Meseta were just amazing. Wildflowers, rolling hills. But the last 3 days, including today, it's just a long, flat stretch. It's really nice. They planted all these sycamore trees along the path, so we get some shade along the way. Just basically been following along a road. We had a couple of alternative routes in the past few days that we could go out into the woods, along streams, etc. But the road's very quiet. And look, there's a nice woods coming up here in the distance, so that'll be good. We continue to see nesting of storks up in the churches in the steeple with their huge nests, and this is the time of year in mid to late May where they're all having their chicks and taking care of their baby birds until they can fly, be free. This morning I did meet a bohemian type guy that is living in an RV with his 2 lovely doggies, and he does these really cool sellos or stamps for your credential for the Camino, made of wax, and then he colors them in, and it was really awesome. His name is Manuel. He's from Italy, but he speaks for Spanish, English, Italian, but his Camino name is Il Guru Improbable. The improbable guru of some kind. So, but he was a really fun fella to talk to, and he's been doing this for 8 years. From March until October, he's on the Camino doing stamps, and just a really neat guy. Super happy. He enjoys his lifestyle, and so it was great to chat with him as well. coming to visit? Yeah, okay, okay.
Flies.
Oh, you're back. Shocker. Hello. This is the old defensive city wall that went around the city back in the 12th century. We stayed in a wonderful albergue last night. It was a vegan place. Lovely woman. Had a 5-year-old daughter and just a fabulous doggie named Alaia. Really super dog, very friendly, and we stayed in a room with 2 Austrians that we've been seeing on and off as we walk. I ran into them yesterday, and they speak very little English, and we speak very little German, so it was hard to communicate, but he was very excited trying to explain something, and then I finally figured out what it was, and his hometown in Austria is where Arnold Schwarzenegger grew up. So he was, I just said, "Oh, the governor," and he said, "Yeah, yeah." And so we managed to at least figure that out. But anyway, they were a very sweet couple, probably in their mid-70s, that we ended up being in the same 4-person room in the albergue. So they're very quiet and very efficient, but he's like Superman because his wife has, I think, some trouble with her feet, and he's carrying her pack on his front and his pack on the back periodically. We've been seeing them over the last couple days, but very sweet couple, and we just had a wonderful time at the albergue. So tried to get an early start at 6:30 this morning. We've been getting out usually by about 8 o'clock onto the trail because we end up having breakfast somewhere and then get motoring. But anyway, we're having a great start to the morning here, and we are headed towards Lyon. We're doing a total of almost 26K today, so we're ramping up the miles a little bit. Stop, we met Elena at this little rest area. She and her husband built a lovely house behind where there's basically a rest stop with a toilet, and just had a lovely conversation with her in Spanish and English. She's learning English and we're still learning Spanish. Today's journey involves a lot of city walking. There's a lot of little burgs on the way to Lyon. Yes, we took a 0 day in Lyon, a large city in northern Spain with a lot of history. We were in a hostel right near the old town. The old town has an amazing building architected by Antonio Gaudi in 1893. Just amazing, the architecture of that. Had a textile business in the first floor, and then a bank, and upstairs were well-to-do, wealthy people that lived in the upper floors. The building's still great shape. There's been some refurbishment, but it's amazing how well it stood the test of time, given that it was built on a wetlands, which is controversial. And there was a lot of art that was there as well, which was really fabulous. I always love oil paintings, and there were some back to the 16th century. and a lot of Spanish artists, including some work that Salvador Dali had done. So we toured that, and then the Cathedral de Santa Maria is just amazing. Outside, it was in quite a state of disrepair 100 years ago, so a lot of it's been rebuilt. It has so much stained glass. It's like nothing I've ever seen before in terms of stained glass, so just fabulous seeing that as well. And it's just quite cold in there, as many of these cathedrals are, of course. We did also try to enjoy the tapas there, but it was a little tricky because they like sweetbreads and some strange kinds of seafood. And so we've eaten a lot of different foods traveling the world. We've been fortunate to do, but it was a little too funky and the texture just didn't work. So instead we went and had pizza.